I'm from the city is still. I'm from the city is still. This is another very, very commonly faked card. This is the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Julius Erving card. This is Larry Bird and Magic Johnson's rookie card. They both have like a solo card that is kind of considered their first solo card, but this is actually their rookie card. This is the oldest card that they have. Their first solo card didn't come till the year after this. So this is what everybody collects as the rookie for both those guys. There's also other variations of this that have different players on it as well. This is the really sought after one that people are faking, the one with Julius Erving, because the other ones don't have like a Hall of Fame player in it with them. So it has perforations in the card. And what perforations are is like something where you would tear them apart. So back in the day when you would get this out of your pack, like these would be technically 3 cards in one. So a lot of times kids would rip these apart and kind of keep them as 3 separate cards. So because of that, you're going to see these like perforations on a real card. Typically, there's 2 gaps around spot 12 or 13. So essentially what that means is you see these little gaps right here where there's no perforation. It's typically as you count 12 or 13 down, there'll be a gap. So on a real one, that's typically the way you find it. It'll be 12 or 13 of these little notches down. There should be a gap. Off-white cardstock. So you'll see the cardstock looks very white on the front, a little off-white to the back. Black printing for words scoring leader. So you're going to see the scoring leader here on the basketball. That's one of the most easy things to tell on one of these is typically this looks like crap on the fake ones. It's all spotty and blotchy. There should be some black spotting present on the right border by Magic Johnson. Again, it's hard to tell on this picture, but there are some like little tiny ones. And also right here, you can see it well. It's either by his name or it's on the side of the card near him. So in this case, the black spotting's right here. But again, you always want to look by his name and then just on his side, his whole side. Again, this card is just evident right there. And then it's usually heavy offset centering. So again, if you find this in like excellent centering, it's probably not real. It can be, but again, it's usually pretty off-centered. Here's the fake one. So as you can see, again, you see this shininess here. This is, again, a time where this type of gloss wasn't yet used in cards. So, again, this is a dead giveaway, typically. If you see something like this is definitely not the material that was used for the making of that card. Commonly, you might see that there's no perforations on the card. So if you see this and there's no like little dotted lines, or sometimes they're printed on there, meaning that like you could touch it and feel that they're not actually like perforated, or sometimes it's even drawn on there. The other thing that's really easy to tell for when people fake this is there's no missing gaps. Like we were talking about like 12 to 13 down, the perforations, there should be a gap like right around this area. And it just doesn't exist on the fake one. Again, the cardstock is white and glossy. Anytime you see an older card, like 1980s or older, you will not find this glossy stock. This glossy stock started being used, I would say probably the early 90s, possibly the late 80s, but I would imagine it was probably the early 90s. Clay, you probably would know a little bit better than me since you're a big baseball guy, but I'm pretty sure this is a 1990s development.
Sorry, my microphone was off. Yes. It's, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Topps didn't even do like kind of paper backs until Upper Deck came around in the late 80s, early 90s, starting putting like pictures on the backs of their cards, and then Topps followed suit. So it was pretty revolutionary what Upper Deck had done. So. Yeah, before that, it was just like the the same thing every time. It was just the back looked a lot like this.
Couldn't fool me with that one.
Yep. The basketball is a brighter orange. So you see the actual basketball here right above Dr. J. It'll be a little bit brighter than this. And again, has to do with the material it's printed on. Gloss is always going to show up brighter. All of the names are pixelated. So again, they're going to be blurry. They're going to be blotchy. Whereas on the real one, they're not all pixelated. They're nice and clean. On a fake, they're all pixelated. The card centering is almost perfect. So again, anytime you see that on any old card, you definitely want to take it into account. At the very least, like, hey, could this possibly be tricked?